Hey, before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss stories like this. She rolled her eyes at me like I was overreacting. It's just dinner with my ex, she said, like someone might casually remark. It's just coffee, or it's just air. I smiled. Not a fake smile that says everything's fine, but the kind that comes when you realize the storm has already passed and you're standing in the rain out of habit. I didn't answer immediately. I just watched her, leaning against the kitchen counter, still in her work clothes, scrolling her phone like she hadn't just dropped a bomb in our living room. My name's Ethan. I've been married to Laura for 7 years. Not perfect years, but real ones. We met in our late 20s, fell in love over shared dreams and cheap takeout. I used to think we understood each other better than anyone else. Somewhere between buying a house and paying bills, though, that understanding thinned into polite coexistence. Lately, it felt like we were living parallel lives. Same address, same bed, but completely different worlds. It began with small things, casual sarcasm, dismissive gestures when I tried to talk about work. The phone always face down. I told myself she was tired, stressed, distracted, but every excuse felt thinner than the last. The first time she mentioned her ex, Ryan, it was just a name. He got promoted. She said once, scrolling through her messages. Good for him, I thought. Everyone has a past. But soon, Ryan's name became a regular presence in our conversations, like a ghost she hadn't let go of. I noticed a softness in her voice when she spoke of him, the way she remembered old jokes that you wouldn't understand. It's an inside thing. Maybe she was right. I didn't understand. But I didn't understand why she needed that connection when she had me. The night before the dinner, we sat on opposite ends of the couch. The TV was on, but neither of us was watching. She was texting, and I caught a familiar name light up her screen. Ryan, I asked quietly. She didn't look up. He's just a friend. You're jealous, she said, laughing softly. God, it wasn't about jealousy. Every message to him chipped away at what used to be ours. When she told me she was meeting him for dinner, I asked why. She shrugged. We're just catching up. You're overreacting. I tried explaining how it looked, how it made me feel, but she met every word with that dismissive smirk, the one that silently says, You're the problem, not me. I stopped arguing. I watched her get ready. Hair done. Perfume I hadn't smelled in months, a spark in her eyes that had nothing to do with me. She adjusted her necklace in the mirror, and for a moment I wondered if she realized how cruel this was. She didn't, or maybe she didn't care. She looked at me through the reflection. Don't wait up. I'll be back late. I nodded. Sure. Then she said it, light and careless. It's just dinner with my ex. And that was it. Something inside me finally went quiet. No yelling, no begging, no dramatic scene, just the silence that comes after months pretending not to notice the cracks. I smiled calm and steady. It's just a divorce, I said. She froze. The perfume bottle slipped slightly in her hand. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the same thing you are, I said. Something that used to matter more than it does now. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. You're being ridiculous. Maybe, I said, but at least I'm done being blind. She left anyway. Door slammed. Engine roared down the street. I stayed on the couch, listening to the echo fade. Funny thing about moments like that, they don't come with fireworks or closure, just a stillness that's heavy and freeing all at once. I looked around the house. Pictures, plans, all the little things that once made a home. I realized it had been a museum of memories for a long time. I just refused to admit it. That night, I didn't cry, didn't drink, didn't text her. I just sat there, finally seeing what had been in front of me for months. The end hadn't been coming. It had already arrived quietly, disguised as just dinner. Laura came home close to midnight. Headlights swept across the living room before fading into silence. I didn't move, half in the dark, the hum of the refrigerator filling the quiet. She stepped inside, heels clicking, perfume still fresh from somewhere that made her feel alive. For a second, I thought you'd notice how wrong this was. Instead, she said casually, you're still up? I told you I wouldn't wait. I said, She frowned, confused by the calm in my voice. Nathan, don't start. It was just dinner. I nodded slowly. Yeah, and this is just the end. Her face twitched. What does that mean? It means I'm done trying to convince you respect matters more than nostalgia. She laughed, short and sharp. You're seriously divorcing me over dinner? I stood, walked past her to the kitchen, poured a glass of water. The sound was louder than either of us wanted it to be. You've been somewhere else for months, I said. Dinner was just the moment you stopped hiding it. She sighed, set her purse down, arms crossed. You're overreacting. I'm not cheating on you. I never said you were, I replied, but I think you stopped being here a long time ago. The silence stretched. I could see the gears turning in her mind, how to deflect, how to make it about me. It had always been that way. Every time I shared my feelings, she turned them into my flaws, sensitive, paranoid, insecure. But not tonight. I've already spoken to an attorney, I said quietly. Everything will be handled fairly. You can stay here until you figure out where to go. She blinked. You're not serious. I am. For the first time, she had no comeback. No sarcasm, no eye roll, just silence. The kind that reveals everything words can't. She looked around as if the house had betrayed her, as if it should have warned her this was coming. Maybe it had, in all the ways she ignored. I didn't hate her. I wasn't angry. The anger had burned out somewhere between the first excuse and the last dismissive shrug. What remained was clarity, the calm after a long storm when the air finally feels breathable. The next morning, she tried to talk. She said she didn't mean to hurt me, that it was innocent. Maybe we could try counseling. I listened. I really did. But it felt like watching a movie I'd seen too many times. Same apologies, same promises, always ending the same way. I'm not mad, I said. I just don't recognize us anymore. She looked small, like the weight of her choices had finally caught up. So that's it, I said softly. Yeah, she whispered. I packed a bag that afternoon, just a few things, clothes, my tools, a framed photo of my dad. The rest could stay. Some endings don't need fireworks. They just need honesty. When I left, she didn't follow me. She stood at the kitchen counter, staring at her phone like it might tell her what to feel. I spent the next few weeks at my brother's place. He didn't ask questions. I didn't offer answers. Some nights I sat outside with beer, thinking about everything we'd built and how quietly it fell apart. Letting go of something that's been breaking for years feels strange at first. Peace feels foreign, but then it grows. About a month later, she texted, I miss you. I stared at it, almost replying, almost letting nostalgia take over. But I remembered her rolling her eyes that night, laughing at what she thought was harmless. I typed, I miss who we used to be. Then I deleted it. I didn't send it. Some messages don't deserve answers. I turned off my phone and watched the sunset bleed across the sky. For the first time in a long while, I felt like myself again. People talk about revenge like it's loud, yelling, breaking things, getting even. But the real kind, the lasting kind, is quiet. It's peace. Walking away when they expect you to beg. She taught me that, not through love, but through loss. Maybe that's what it was for. A reminder that the bravest thing a man can say isn't, I forgive you, or I'll fight for you. Sometimes, it's just one calm sentence, delivered with a steady smile. It's just a divorce.